So here we go, guys. Welcome to this round of 8 match in the RDIL Season 1. This is going to be versus our Terran player Aidan and our Protoss player Rath. And our first map here is going to be 16-bit. We're just seeing if our players are ready. And we are off. So, we have a best 5 here today. It is a PVT. And the map order is going to be 16-bit, Dreamcatcher, Acid Plant, Lost and Found, and then Catalyst. And here we are spawning in the bottom left. We have our orange Protoss Rathorn. And his opponent in the top right, in the purple, with a Terran spray, interestingly enough. We have Aidan. Boom. So, PVT on this map, we actually just got done watching Rath play a PVT on this map, which he won with some very, very interesting kind of mass Oracle play. So I'm really excited to see what he's going to bring out here. You know, Rath is has a little bit of an MMR advantage here over Aidan, but you know, Aidan very strong in TVP. And has a very good macro. So I think that Rath is going to want to try and get up in his face a little bit in this series, you know, try and stop him from hitting his stride, getting his tank count up, because once you kind of let Aidan do that, he can be a very tough Terran player to engage. So far, both our builds looking pretty normal. Both players getting scouting up, trying to see what their opponent is up to. Aidan getting his orbital command up, opening Reaper. Reaper, an interesting choice on this map. I don't mind it, because it does kind of... Reaper always gives you access to good scouting. to scout a lot of those sneaky Protoss all-in builds we all love so much. But even still, not the best spots to jump up on this map. And it looks like, yeah, just expansions from both players. Stalker coming out for Rathorn, delaying his warp gate a little bit here. It looks like maybe that might be a little bit of a mistake, as he does have money, although it looks like we might see a Stargate here even before Warp Gate. Now, he actually did that in the last game too. He delayed his Warp Gate to get the Stargate. Now, a lot of the times, if there's going to be, some heavy aggression coming your way, that can be a little bit problematic, but he knows that's not the case. He scouted with the probe, and he knows that this is a risk he can successfully take. And I would like to see him start Warp Gate up any minute now. But across the map, we have the typical follow-up from our Terran player. Reactor on the barracks factory coming up. Yeah, Mega Bear is correct. That is a really cool probe skin. It's one of the new ones, the golden probes. But here comes the Reaper, and he does see that super fast Stargate. Doesn't see the Oracle, but inference, he knows it's probably, almost definitely an Oracle here. The Reaper does pay for that information with his life, and again, I gotta say, Warp Gate starting just now. I would think he's gonna want to try and spend at least 1 or 2 chronos on that, as it's a pretty significant delay. And here we have the classic Rath build. 1 Oracle already out, another one on the way. And I'm interested to see what his follow-up tech here is going to be. Looks like we might get a glimpse of this here, and it is going to be the Twilight. Now, actually, a really relatively greedy build here from our Protoss. I mean, choosing to go double tech and an Expo off of 1 gate. And here, let's see, he gets 1, he gets 2, and it looks like he's going to get 3 SCVs, 4. Didn't see that one spawning. Oh, 4 SCVs, and where's the Widow Mine? Successfully evades the Widow Mine. Now, if you lose that Oracle, things can kind of start to spiral out of control, but Rathorn, a very experienced Protoss player, isn't going to lose his Oracle to a Widow Mine like that. He saw it, he knew it was coming. And already a Forge. This really is some textbook levels of greed we're seeing here. A lot of Oracles and a Phoenix, but I mean, if our Terran player gets 2 Liberators on the way, now I'm assuming that's for some aggression, since he knows there's a Stargate. I would guess he's probably not going to try and use Liberators for harassment, as that's going to be a difficult proposition. But there could be a pretty sick push coming out here with a bunch of Widow Mines, some Bio, and some Liberators that it's going to be holdable, but the gateway unit count is going to be very low. Very low. Warp Gate has now finished, and here we're seeing the additional gateways coming down. So, Phoenix making its way across the map. I'm guessing Rath kind of wants to poke out at our Terran player, see if he sees things like this 3rd command center, how many barracks have gone down, if there's maybe a huge 2-base all-in coming, and he's going to see that it's a relatively standard opening from Aidan, which I think is in his favor here. So interestingly enough, we see he's choosing to get the +1 attack upgrade first, which could pair pretty well, I guess, with this Oracle combo. His army is going to be putting out a lot of damage once it kind of gets in gear. And the Templar Archives probably going to be following this up with his patented Oracle Archon charge slot composition that we've seen him get a lot of work done with. Full saturation on the natural for our Terran player, and 3rd base is coming down, and it does not seem like either of these guys are too interested in really doing much more aggression, at least for the moment. Although there, like I said, Aidan, that solid macro play, taking a pretty sizable supply advantage and looking to push across the map. This Phoenix catching it right away. That's crucial information, and we'll have to see how Rathorn responds to this push coming, because let's take a look at the army supply. A pretty sizable advantage here for our Terran player. Behind a few workers, but workers don't mean anything if you have no army, and this is a big-ass army here for our Terran. Now, the key here is going to be how can he successfully engage these Widow Mines, because Oracles are very good at cleaning up Marines. They're very good at it, but they're very, very fragile, right? 1 or 2 Widow Mine shots with Splash can pretty much hamper any Widow Mine aggression, and it looks like, nope, we're not going to see a drop. 2 Stasis Wards coming out. I really, really like this move from our Protoss player, as you know, he doesn't quite have the army to engage, and that's a huge Stasis Ward, getting all of the Widow Mines, and another one getting the second half of the army, and here comes Rath saying, you don't have an army, it's all Stasis, I'm engaging. Great Widow Mine shots, but it looks like it's just not going to be enough, as all of his army is Stasis Warded, and gonna come out in batches here, right? Like, here come these Widow Mines, but the charge lots are already on top of them. The rest of the army comes out. Some of it manages to get picked up, but the Phoenixes are chasing down the Medivacs, and Rath is taking a commanding position in this game, lifting the Widow Mines before they can burrow. This was truly a masterful defense from our Protoss player. And GG, Rathorn takes game number 1. So, of course, well played to both of our players, and it looks like the next map will be on Dreamcatcher. Now, keep in mind, Rath came into this 2nd place in Group B, whereas Aidan was 3rd place in Group A, meaning first map choice did go to Rath. So he very successfully took the dub on the map of his choice, but I'll be interested to see what he can get done here on Dreamcatcher, a map known for it's got some pretty abusable tank spots. It's got some very abusable tank spots. And here we are loading in to the game. Just giving a rundown. This is game 2. It will be on Dreamcatcher. Game 3 is Acid Plant, and then the final 2 maps will be Lost and Found and Catalyst if we get there. But here we go into the game, introducing our orange Protoss. It is Rathorn. Boom. And spawning down here in the bottom, looking to even up the series, we have Aidan. Now, one thing that's critical to notice and has absolutely nothing to do with strategy is that both these guys got the war chest and have really, really cool worker skins. Like I said, has no bearing on strategy, but it is really cool. And it looks like, once again, you know, you're not really going to see too much variance in the openings up to this point, but I don't know. I think that Aidan, I mean, he knows, he picked this map first. It's his favorite map is Terran. It's most Terran's favorite map of this map pool. And my guess, and I've been known to be spot on with my predictions about 10% of the time, is that he is going to try and go into one of those tank pushes, one of those nice 2-base tank pushes. You know, you get your stim, you get your combat shield, you get a decent amount of bio, a few medevacs, and just 2 or 3 tanks, and then try and get into these spots here, you know, where you have the, you know, the natural terrain that you can park tanks behind and stim in with your bio while your tanks just shell from far away, and it can be very, very difficult to deal with as Protoss, because all it really takes blocks the pylon. All it really takes is a few really, really critical tank shots to really take the wind out of the sails of the Protoss. Sorry about that, just making some plans with Stillfly. It looks like there's going to be another Risen Clan War after this. I would encourage all of you to take a look, see if you can find the stream link to that, and tune in and support the team. This is a little bit more of a friendly affair. It's an internal league. We're all on the same team here, which maybe means there's a little bit of bragging rights at stake here. Aidan and Rath might have a little bit something to prove. We see it's looking like it's going to be the same build again for Rathhorn. One gate into Stargate, delayed Warp Gate into an expansion. And I don't know. It worked out very, very well for him last game, and he managed to deny the scouting. And it looks like the Reaper will be withheld. And like I said, this is not scouted at all. And let's remember, last game Rathhorn had that great defense, and that was all off of a very late forgotten Warp Gate. So yes, it's a tougher map, but this game, when he's hitting his stride and kind of looks like he's in the groove of it a little bit more, I don't know. It's looking like a pretty much mirror image build. And over here, it looks like we are going to see a Widow Mine drop for our Terran player. And I'll tell you what, those can be very deadly. Although with this Oracle coming across the map, we only have 2 Marines out right now. So this Oracle could get some sick damage as the Widow Mines already are loaded up. They're going across the map. They're not going to be in position to stop this. And the Oracle sees it right away. He's following it. He knows what's up. And he's getting another one out. He'll be able to kind of kill them as they come out. But I think he could honestly dive into either the natural, well, not the natural, but he could probably dive into the main base and try and pick off some SCVs. But he knows this is coming. We have units already in place, and making the correct decision, Aidan is backing off for now. A little bit of a minor supply block and a very fast on-site third base for Aidan. And, you know, I really like this move. You know, when you're behind and you're, well, Cloaked Banshee's on the way, which I'm not sure I'm a fan of, as we have Oracles and now we see a Phoenix coming out. Oh, here comes the Widow Mine drop into the natural. Rathhorn has not reacted. How bad will it be? And it will be pretty bad, as we have 9 workers going down pretty much for free. To take a look, that evens up the worker count, and as we all know, with mules, you never really want to be even on workers with a Terran player, especially one that's going to get a fast third base. But like I was saying, you know, looks like we're going to have a huge bio follow-up, and he's going to try and get a little tricky with these Cloaked Banshees. Now, the counter to the Cloaked Banshees is already out, right? If he tags it, he's going to tag and bag, you know what I'm saying? The Phoenix they're not really going to sweat it. But if he catches into the base while these units are across the map, there's a good chance he can get a lot done. And will this CC finish? That's a big deal. 1 second left, and he denies the command center finishing. Now, in all likelihood, that won't end up being the biggest of deals for him, but that's just a huge, annoying psychological move. And we have both Oracles dying. That is a huge deal. Here come the Phoenix, and Phoenix dies. Now, he took out the Banshee, but that is a huge blow. That is the entire air army of Rath. And as we saw in the last game, he relied on the technicality of that air army to really let him kind of handle that push that hit him. Huge Widow Mine hits. Huge. Aidan needs to get on the low ground, needs to finish that CC, as we have the third base of our Protoss player coming up, and it looks like economy-wise he is going to kind of catch up. You know, he got his nose bloodied by those Widow Mines, but the rocks are coming down. We have another Banshee on the way. Here comes another Widow Mine drop. Let's see. The pull is in time. The mine gets down, and just a Zealot. And the medevac will go down to the Oracle. Rath not taking any chances. We have photon cannons coming up in these mineral lines. I think he's had his fill of Widow Mine drops for this game, and I cannot say that I blame him. Now we have the Orbital Command on the low ground finishing up, as is the Protoss third base, but taking a look, we have... Ooh, and it looks like Colossi is going to be the tech choice for Rathhorn. But as I was saying, I think I favor the Terran player. He's well ahead in supply. He's got more production going on, and it's going to be a little bit of a minute here before we really see Colossi production come out. Now, he needs to start pumping out these medevacs, as the Banshees did super push back his ability to, get those supportive starport units out, as he was kind of focusing on the Banshees, which unfortunately were not able to get a ton of work done. But if he can build 2 medevacs now and kind of rally across the map, I mean, looking at the armies, it's not close. Aidan, I think, will just walk over him. Ooh, that's a sick Marine skin too, and a sick Marauder skin. Looks like we have a scan going down. Maybe hunting for that observer, but he is not going to find it. We have 11 Widow Mines. That is a lot of Widow Mines. And I'll tell you what, when there's more Widow Mines than there are, or about the same number of Widow Mines as there are Gateway units, Aidan not quite falling for the same trick twice. A very good stasis ward, but does not get the brunt of the army, and we have a huge attack coming in, and Rathorn makes the correct decision, pulls out of this third base that he knows he cannot hold. But now we see perhaps his path to victory in this game, throwing up another third and a double Colossi on the way. Once those get out, they're going to far outrange Widow Mines. They're going to shred through these Marines. And here he goes. Great job by Aidan, not falling for the same trick twice. Here he goes. He wants this army dead, and it looks like he's going to get it as the Banshee starts working away on the Colossi. The Bio is microing across to the side, and it looks like most of this is going to go down. We have nothing in the air to really stop this Banshee. It looks like the Bio is going to get cleaned up, but one Colossus goes down, and the other needs to get picked up. And here we have the... more and more Gateway units falling for Rathorn, and there is more Bio, there are more tanks, and this is not a third base he can hold. Looks like he's going to try and get cheeky with a little bit of Colossi Warp Prism micro, but... he picks it up, the hot pickup. An excellent play by Rathorn, trying to do anything he can to stay in this game. Aidan needs to find these Widow Mines. He could set up a pretty deadly minefield here. The Banshee is finally going to go down, but has the damage been done? We see an even oversaturated third base here for our Terran, and, it's not gonna... I'd rather have an oversaturated third base than an oversaturated natural, and it looks like we're going to see... Oh, no. 4 more workers go down. Not looking great for our Protoss player here. Now, it looks like he's going to be able to pick the rest of these off, but no, the Observer gets hit by the Widow Mine. What can he see that with? Is there another Observer? Oh, wait, no, those are the ones that are... huge Widow Mine shots. And... maybe he could afford to make trades like that if he was even on bases, but when you're behind a base, those are not trades you can afford to take as more and more units go down to these Widow Mines. Now, we see the Colossus count is starting to get higher, but Aidan making the right call, starting to get Vikings, starting to get siege tanks, and... I don't know if him holding another push is on the cards. We take a look at the upgrades. It is 2-1 to... 1-1, so a slight upgrade advantage, but he knows this third is coming out, and here we see the cheeky Colossus drop, but, if he sieges this tank here, and he gets 1 or 2 Vikings out, I mean, that's not going to end the game, and this army can end the game. We see an almost 100 supply advantage for our Terran player, stemming on through. He's going to kill this base. He's going to take out some probes. And this is exactly what I'm talking about. Aidan, yes, the lower MMR player, but a beast of a macro Terran. Coming in here, he's got Widow Mines. He's got siege tanks. He's got Bio. And I just, it looks like he's going to even up the series at 1-1. Here he goes, burrowing the Widow Mines in between the third base and the natural, cutting off any reinforcement paths. The huge Bio Ball stemming in. one Colossus goes down, 2 Colossus goes down, the Stalkers are falling, the final Colossus will go down, and that is going to be the end of Rathorn's chances. He GG's, and we are all tied up. What a series we got going on our hands here. As we are now at 1-1. It looks like the third map is going to be Acid Plant. We're just waiting on the ready from our players here. So it looks like I said, we're going into Game 3. It's going to be on Acid Plant. We're guaranteed to have Lost and Found after this, no matter who wins. And if they split maps again, the decider match will be on Catalyst. Everybody's favorite map that they miss, right? Or at least are going to miss. It's definitely my favorite of the maps that got cut going into the new map pool. But remember, we are in fact playing on the old map pool, which makes a difference. And we are just waiting on him to grab some water, and we are going to be getting in to our third match here. And on that note, I am also going to drink some water here. Keep the voice fresh for you guys. And Aidan is ready. Rath is ready. We are going into game number 3. And I'll be honest, I'm excited. So, like I said, being the higher ranked player, Rath picked maps 1 and 3, and Aidan picked maps 2 and 4, with the final and unpicked map being Catalyst, and the 2 banned maps being Redshift and Darkness Sanctuary. So, once again, we're going on to a map that Rathorn picked, but, I mean, at the same time, Acid Plant, known as a super standard map, not one, to my knowledge, that's really considered to be really super favored to any one of the races. Now, one thing that can be influential here is that Reaper's not good at this map. As you can see, there's no spot that they can jump in that's not all the way past the natural. So, I'll be interested to see if Aidan goes Reaper first or opts to mix his opening up a little bit here. Conversely, Rathorn, we've seen that same build out of him twice in a row, had a lot of success with it in game 1, and Aidan made the adjustment. He got a lot of Widow Mines, he avoided the stasis wards, and he took out those critical air units early on that really let him steamroll him with that first push and put him in a position to take the match. Looks like we have a scout coming in here for Rathorn. Just going to make sure everything he sees is good old hunky-dory normal Terran play, which so far it is. Second pylon coming down, and then I'm guessing this looks a lot like a 1-gate expand from our Protoss player. And here we see he is opting for the Reaper. Now, I know I said not the best Reaper map. At the same time, it's still a very viable thing to do. It does get across the map really quick. Oh, now that can be annoying. This game, he gets the pylon blocked down. And Now that is a move you don't see often. Maybe from a Zerg player, but not often from a Terran. And honestly, it could throw Rathorn off a little bit. He cancels the pylon, which is the correct decision there. Save the minerals, but we see an on-site third base going down in lieu of a natural for Aidan, and I'll be interested to see where this goes from here, as this is far from standard play here. And like I said, the natural base is down on site for our Protoss. He's getting the Stalker out, probably going to get one more after, and it looks like once again delaying the Warp Gate. We are going to see the Stargate right now. So Rathorn sticking to what he knows, but it is going to be immediately scouted. Immediately scouted. So Aidan should know what's coming. He's seen it twice already, and it's going to be coming at him a third time once again. Rathorn delaying his Warp Gate an awful lot. I wonder if Aidan might, and he might have been able to see, you know, the no rotation on the discs of the Cybercore, and been like, hey, you know, that there is not upgrading. I wonder if I can do a quick little push and maybe get a little bit of damage done. And honestly, I would favor him to get that damage done. Though it looks like we're going to have a 1-1-1, the two-base variety, that is. A Widow Mine coming out. And interestingly enough, that is a Phoenix first. Rathorn opting to mix it up a little bit. You know, he says, Aidan's seen me go Oracle first twice in a row. He's going to be prepared for Oracles. I'm just going to go ahead and get right into the Phoenixes and get across the map and see what I can see. And there is quite a sight for him to see as he comes across. He sees the base going up here. Now, will he check the natural and see that there's nothing there? So he does. He sees the on-site third base, and I would guess he's a little bit confused at this point. Although, honestly, with a late Warp Gate and one Gateway, he's not really going to be able to do much to punish it, and I would suspect we're going to see a pretty fast natural again off of a 4 Widow Mine drop. This could do brutal damage, and it might skate right past the Phoenixes, sneaks through. At the same time, we have a very small but dangerous attack coming in for our Protoss player. Let's keep in mind that there are 5 Widow Mines out, 4 of them are right here, 2 Marines, 1 Reaper. He's going to clear out this natural, and Aidan needs to start getting some units up ASAP. But here we see the mines dropping down. Rath has no idea. Oh, 8 workers killed. Now, unlike last game, you know, he did lose the 8 workers, but he killed some SCVs of his own, and he forced them off of mining. So, a lot less of a big deal, perhaps, than last game when a similar amount of damage got done. But this drop is still lurking, and it looks like these gateway units across the map will go down. Aidan microing his Marines very well, getting the most damage out of them. First Stalker goes down, Zealot goes down, but this Stalker should be able to clean up these Marines. Now, where's that drop? I'm going to keep an eye on that. The drop is still there. The Stalker's sitting there. He's picking off a lot of SCVs. Widow Mine's unburrowed. They're going to try and run in, burrow up, kill that. And it looks like he's going to get that, but at the same... Oh, here comes the Widow Mine drop. And Rathorn, once again, unprepared. 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's see. He's got 8 workers killed. Oh... 8 workers killed to 19. That is 11 more workers going down. And he's going to get out of there with the medevac, though the Phoenixes are making a beeline. I think at this point, Rathorn's probably pretty damn tired of these drops. But we see a Dark Shrine coming up. Now, there are 4 gateways here. And is there an NG bay? There is no engineering bay, but there are 3 orbitals for scan. Oh, is he going to catch it? So he scanned there at the third base to see what's going down. Looks like the Widow Mine drop is going to kind of save itself a little bit. But there is no real... He's warping in these DTs all the way back here, which means that, you know, with a proxy pylon or something, maybe he could get in and try and do some damage. And with no engineering bay, let me just make sure. Yeah, with no engineering bay, a split up group of DTs could get him the game back again. But here we have the Widowmine drop coming in again. The Phoenixes this time well prepared for it. There's a photon cannon. This is not going to get much done, although 2 more Phoenixes going down, and here we have the DTs coming in. Let's see, he gets 1, he gets 2, killing off the SCVs, while at the same time, very well done by Aidan, trying to bait the DTs to going into the same scan, unable to do so, but so far very, very successful damage done with these DTs. The question though, he's got the scan, he's going to kill this one too. Was it enough? And honestly, I don't know if the answer to that question is yes. I really don't. He's, it delayed his Templar archives a bit. He's lost so much to those Widowmine drops that at this point, he's down in supply, and I'm not really surprised. 2 engineering bays coming up. He needs to get missile turrets up ASAP. I hope he's saving scans, which he kind of is. Another scan goes down, another DT goes down. But Rathorn playing this very wisely. He says, I don't know if I can fight your army. So what do? I'm going to get TTs. I'm going to keep you across the map. I'm going to be super annoying. And if you push, I'm going to try and most likely piecemeal send in DTs and try and see if I can just whittle that army down. Now, with those engineering base done, it is critical that he starts those upgrades and gets a missile turret in every base, and it looks like that is exactly what he is going to do. 3 DTs hanging out here at the bottom of the ramp. DTs honestly all over the map. He needs to get one up here at the 3rd base, as this is the most likely spot that will be attacked. And another big deal is, we have a Raven out. I didn't even realize that. We have a Raven out, so 1 DT is just going to go down, and having that Raven is going to be critical for this push. He is researching DT Blink and killing his own Zealot. Apparently that Zealot was in fact a traitor, so I'll take Rathorn's thought there. It probably deserved it. 3rd base forced to lift from this 1 DT. That's got to be frustrating, and I'll be honest, considering he's not mining at the 3rd, whereas Rath is, he needs to get some good damage done with this push, but he's got 12 Widow Mines, and I'll tell you what, Zealots are not going to do very well against 12 Widow Mines. He gets the anti-armor missile on all of the gateway units, and this is going to be a very finesse play that's going to be required from Rathorn if he wants to survive this. Widow Mines coming in, they're burrowing, they're split up. We have him trying to sack in 1 Zealot at a time, but it's not really working. Phoenix is coming down from the back, but they're dying to Widow Mines too. He needs to keep this alive. Oh, huge, huge, huge Widow Mine shots. That half of the army has gone down, and he cannot engage this force. Needs to keep that Raven alive. Raven, 5 HP, stays alive. Oh, no, dies to the... So the Raven goes down, dying to the collateral damage from the AoE of the Widowmine, but Aidan is going for the throat. He's stemming in. He doesn't care. And his army is very low on HP, but it looks like he might just have enough to break him with that scan. The cannon goes down. The natural's going down. I would like to see him try and disrupt mining, but as it stands, Rathorn has lost a lot of units. And even dropping here into the main, going to kill these units as they warp in, got him in a bit of a choke, and it looks like that is a big pylon to lose. Actually, stopping the +2, that's a big deal, and he's still anchored at this defensive position, and it looks like he's going to back off. Now he needs to land this 3rd base and start mining ASAP. He got himself a great advantage here, but the probe count remained largely untouched. So if Rathorn can kind of stabilize here and start to get up some AoE, there's still a path to victory. Aidan has an advantage, but there is, in my opinion at least, a path to victory. Aidan, though, not going to lay off the pressure, going to lay down that huge field, going to pick off another DT, and he's going to start to get to work on the units here. a very late combat shield coming up for Aidan. And he looks like he's going to do a bit of a bait here. He's going to come in. He's going to depower that. And how do you push across this? One unit at a time? He's going to lose Archons here to the Widow Mines. All the units going down. These Archons so low on HP, they're going to die before getting a shot off, and it looks like Rathorn might just be checkmated out of this game. Here we have these Marines chasing down some of the last of the probes. DT's trying to get warped in unsuccessfully, and it looks like Dark Horse Aidan is going to go up 2-1 in this series with some masterful Terran play. All the probes in the natural going down, dipping below 50 supply is Rathorn, and wow. I talked Aidan up at the beginning of the series, but I'll be honest, I went in thinking that Rathorn was fairly significantly favored. He is a mountain of a Protoss player, but Aidan showing us that he is not to be denied, he is not to be ignored, and he is in it to win it. As the third base starts to go down, Rathorn very valiantly fighting for his life. He knows this is a tournament match. He doesn't want to lose, but I think his hands are tied in this situation. So this Widowmine play by Aidan has just been so incredibly good. The way he adapted to the play after game one is just so impressive. These probes trying to long distance mine, they're going to get killed. And just Widow Mines everywhere. He needs to push out and defend this base, but he just can't go through that Widow Mine field. There's more Widow Mines than there are units. Scans continually going down. Not the greatest backup economy for Aidan, but honestly, he doesn't need it. He's got the army to kill him. He's getting ghosts. He's getting everything he needs. And actually, I take that back. He's got an orbital on at the 4th. That's how he's affording to scan all of the bases on the map. He wants to make sure that there is no way that something is going to come out of left field and kill him here. And he knows at this point that there really isn't. Rathorn's holding on for dear life, but it looks like that life is gonna be over, I think. Pulling the probes, gets into a great position to trade against zealots and probes. All the probes going down. He's at 24 supply, and GG, well played is called. Aidan takes a 2-1 advantage in the series. Oh, it's not 1-12. It's 1-2. And as I mentioned, our 4th map appears to be lost and found. Now, keep in mind, Rathorn has his back up against the wall going into a map that Aidan picked. This is one of the ones that he wanted to play on. And even if he drops a game here, he has one more to spare, and we will have an ace match on Catalyst. So here we are, guys, in the loading screen of our 4th and potentially final game. As you can see, Aidan has a 2-1 advantage in this best of 5. This is the elimination round, the round of 8. This is all the marbles. You lose here, and your chances in Season 1 are over. Rath has showed some incredible play so far in the season, put up a pretty dominating performance in his group, taking 2nd place, only dropping 1 set. And Aidan, on the other hand, had a bit of a tougher path to this round of 8. He dropped a few of his opening matches, but he showed tremendous resilience. He battled back, and he was able to make it out of his group with a, let me see, Yeah, with a 5-3 record, and I think that was from being down 0-3. So Aidan showing us he may have had a rough start, but he's here. He wants to win. Now, I'll be interested to see if we see Rathorn mix it up. He had tremendous success with that build in game number 1. He kind of dismantled Aidan's push really hard, but in these past 2 games, it's let him down. Aidan's Widowmine play has it's thrown him for a loop, and I'll be interested to see if he can come up with a way to kind of respond to that. Both players looking to do a standard macro opening, it seems. Be interested to see if he does that pylon block again, as it did him a lot of good, actually, in that last game. Cybercore going down, and we have the Reaper on the way, and it looks like we're going to have a low ground CC that is not going to be pylon blocked this time. And across the map, at around the exact same time, we have the Nexus going on down. Second gas coming up for our Protoss player. And the Reaper is out. The factory is down. And the mules are starting to rain down. Now, let's see what Rath... Already we have a deviation. He's getting his warp gate initially. He's choosing not to delay it as he had in those previous games. And it looks like we are going to see Twilight Council tech coming down. But once again, Aidan sees it right off the bat. So he knows, well, this is a little bit different this time. Not going to see those fast oracles. So maybe can be a little bit relaxed. Probably going to be wary of some maybe DT shenanigans. But my guess is Rathorn, with his back up against the wall, is going to want to sit back and rely on his extremely solid macro play. So my expectation is he's going to get a Robo. He's going to get probably 2 Forges pretty quick and just try and take Aidan to the late game. We have a Widowmine coming out. I don't mind it. Doesn't quite need it for the defense of air units, but I mean, a Widowmine's always a good unit to have. We have a Forge coming down, and it looks like Charge is going to be the upgrade of choice as these 2 Stalkers start to come across the map to just poke a little bit, see what's going on. Hopefully Aidan burrows this Widowmine and maybe can get a little bit of a cheeky pick off on one of these. Here we go. Rathorn sees it right away and says, nope, no thank you. None of that, please. Looks like Rathorn does not want to get Widowmine dropped in this game. We're seeing 2 incredibly fast photon cannons. He is, and I'll be honest, I don't blame him at all. He is sick and tired of Widowmine drops, but Aidan, maybe with a little bit of star sense here, recognizing that, he's saying, okay, you're going to over-prepare for that. I'm just going to go into siege tanks, and I'm going to do a siege tank push. We have the tech lab coming up on the second barracks. Hopefully going to get into some stim here. Well, it looks like it is going to be the charge into Blink. And the Reaper, once again, gets in, sees everything. He sees the cannon. He sees the Forge. Even gets out with the Reaper. Now, this Reaper has no kills, but what it is lacked in kills, it is more than made up for in scouting information. And Aidan, recognizing, alright, you want a macro? Let's macro. Throws down an on-site third base, which is very, very fast. Normally, you'll see the Protoss player getting their third base a little bit quicker than the Terran player and kind of trying to get into it a little bit. You know, he wants to get his macro up and going. But I think this is a smart read and a correct read from our Terran player to say, hey, if we're going to play a macro game, I'm going to play it with as quick of a third base as I can get away with. We have Stim coming up. It's about a third of the way done. A Hallucinated Phoenix coming in. It wants to see what it can see, and it is going to scout that on-site third base, and it is going to scout all of the production, including these 2 additional racks coming down. another casualty of Widow Mines in this series as the hallucinated Phoenix comes down, and Rath, in lieu of maybe aggression, is going to throw down a third base of his own, which I think is a smart decision. He's got 2 forges up. He's going to be cranking out those upgrades and a Templar archives. So it'll be interesting to see. I think that considering the lack of air units, he's gonna try and get into Storm really quickly instead of trying to play with those Archons that he oh so enjoys. But 3 siege tanks with another one on the way. Stim going to be done soon. He is a little bit behind in upgrades, as his engineering bays are much later than these 2 forges. But there could be a wicked, nasty push coming out to hit this third base relatively soon. And the longer the game goes on, I do think that I favor Rathorn more and more. Just because of his build having this fast double forge, he's going to be getting up to 3-3 very quickly. But he is very far away from that 3-3, and this push is not very far away from his third base. The Reaper sees that the army is coming out to meet him, and Aidan correctly sieges up. He's not going to get caught in the middle of the map. In fact, he's going to get some free tank shots, and 1 Zealot goes down already. Rathorn has to be reeling a little bit here. He knows that his life is on the line. He's got a lot of Zealots, though, and Aidan is looking to get into a very scary spot here up on this third base. I'll tell you what, very well done by Rathorn in baiting these engagements. He's allowed him to way overstim, which means 1 or 2 Archon shots are going to do a lot of work to this bio, but he is looping around. He's going to try and dive on these tanks, and he is going to take a fight. Picks off a rallying tank, but he's been trading units, and I don't think that Aidan wants to fight here away from his siege tanks, but Rath is going in. He's pulling back out. A little bit of indecision here. He's picking off almost all of the reinforcements, but the bio's getting healed up. I think that Aidan, honestly, another critical scan. Huge tank shots going down, and we have a very low on HP Protoss army. A third base mining for our Terran player, and a very under threat third base for our Protoss. Now, I think he wants to start 3 more Archons on the way, and that is a big meat to add to this army. He's going to stim in and see if maybe he can pick off this Nexus really quickly. He's focusing it down. Rathorn's making some moves, but it's going to be too late. This third base will die, and he should back out right now. These Archons are coming in. He's going to do a hot pickup, it looks like. No, he's going to choose to fight. Leaves the tanks all alone. They're all going to get cleaned up. And this is a bit of an interesting trade. Rathorn does take a supply lead. He's got the upgrade lead. He's got a vastly superior army at this point, but he does not have a third base. Even more medevacs going down, and I don't know if this was worth it for Aidan. He got a ton of damage done, but I don't know if he can stop this counterattack from Rathorn. This is a huge Protoss army, and it is a well-upgraded Protoss army. And looking at what he's got, 2 tanks, looking like they're going to get caught out across the map, versus 17 charge lots and a few Archons, so it's +3. Rathorn backing off. I don't think he needs to. I think he can dive onto this, and he will. Some bio coming up to do a bit of a flank, but there's just way too many Zealots. A tank is going to try and siege up at the back, but it looks like Rathorn might have done it, and we could be going to game number 5. Could you really ask for more? Could you really ask for more here? As he needs to get those depots up, and he needs to get them up now. He's got a 4th base done, but it doesn't matter, as this Protoss army is not going to be stopped. GG is called, and we are going. We got it, dude. We got a game 5, and I could not be a happier caster. And as I mentioned earlier, game 5 is going to be on Catalyst. What a back and forth series we have had here today. We are just waiting on the ready confirmation, and both of the guys are ready, and we are going into the final and deciding map here on Catalyst, and I'm not even going to try and make a prediction here. We've seen some excellent play out of both of our players here. It's honestly a shame that one of these guys is going to be eliminated because they've both proved to everyone that they are powerhouses. And honestly, if I watch this series, considering I'm in the same half of the bracket as both of these guys, I'll be honest, it's a bit intimidating. Both these guys looking very, very strong in their macro play. And going into Game 5, here we have in the bottom right-hand corner, it's the Purple Terran. It's Aidan. And in the top left-hand corner, once again in the orange, once again Protoss, we have Rathorn. And I'll be interested to see if anybody tries anything too crazy. Now, we know that there is the type of player who, in a critical match, is willing to throw caution to the wind and do something really, really crazy. But I don't know if I think that that's either of these two players, to be honest. Both players known for their macro play. And I think that we're going to see probably another macro game here, which I'm pretty okay with because these guys have shown us that they can hold their own in a macro play. And I don't know. I just don't know who to favor here. I'll be interested to see if Aidan goes back to that Widowmine style that he had oh so much success with in games 2 and 3. I'll be interested to see if Rathorn goes to that Stargate build that he had a ton of success with in game 1, but didn't really get too much done in the other games. It looks like he is going to be very annoying. Can he throw down that natural? No, it looks like Rathorn is going to block it, and he might even be able to pylon block it, but no. The CC goes down. Rathorn says, alright, we'll both expand. That's fine. Aidan getting the Reaper out. It's heading across the map. Yeah, across the map. And here we go. Waiting to see what the tech choice of our Protoss will be. Looks like he's going to block off the jump spot with a gateway probably. Yep. Smart play. And we have a bit of a delayed second gas here from Rathorn. And that means that whatever tech he's going to get into, it's going to be a little bit late. The Reaper's diving in. He wants to see what's going on. He sees two gateways. He sees the late second gas. And he sees that there is no tech down. But, I mean, to be fair, there is no tech for him to see. So, this Reaper should get out alive. Although, no, it will not. The Reaper goes down. Doesn't see the tech. Although, Rathorn has not chosen a tech path as of yet either. Now, interestingly enough, we do not have a bunker down. So I wonder if once this second Stalker comes out, we might see a little bit of aggression with two Stalkers. We saw him kind of poke earlier, and Aidan senses that something might be up. He's looking for a proxy. And in reality, it's just a little bit of delayed tech that we're seeing. Nothing crazy. But Aidan, I understand, it's game 5. He doesn't want to lose to anything silly. He's burrowing a Widowmine in the natural. He's getting all of his tech up and his buildings up. Meanwhile, across the map, it looks like we're going to see a very similar build to what we saw before from Rathorn, and that is Fast Twilight. He's going to get into a forge, probably a second forge after his first upgrade starts to finish, and try and just get into that pretty defensive, really solid Protoss macro play where you pretty much just try and rush up to 3-3, and then once you have a significant upgrade advantage, that's when you try and start to make stuff happen. But it is going to be Widowmine drops. But Rathorn, once again, not wanting to lose to Widowmine drops, is getting a cannon in each of his mineral lines very, very, very early. And this time, it is going to pay off for him. Looks like a single Widowmine coming across in a drop, and this is not in a million years going to get much done. I mean, there's going to be a cannon in each mineral line, which means that The Widow Mine should die before it even has a chance to burrow. But not a huge commitment here. You know, one medevac if he keeps it alive, which he should, you know, he's going to want anyway. And, you know, one Widow Mine, not the biggest sacrifice. Sees the cannon, burrows the Widow Mine, and at the very last second takes it out and prevents what would have been probably 5 or 6 probes from going down. Big deal, as we see the worker count is already pretty even. If he lost 6 workers, he would be in a very dicey spot indeed. And it looks like we have those 2 follow-up racks, and it looks like we no fast third CC this time from Aidan. It looks like, well, he is more of a normal time. The last times he was getting them on site, he was getting them around like 4:30 or something crazy like that. This game, he's going a little bit more standard, although and about a more standardly timed third base from our Protoss player. Looks like we have a scan coming down. He wants to see what's going on. He's going to see the upgrades, and he's probably going to want to push with these Widow Mines. Now, the gateway unit count is getting bigger, and once Blink's done, you can do some pretty fancy footwork to kind of blink out and trigger the Widow Mine shots without eating any of the damage. But Blink is about a minute away, and I think that this push is going to hit the third base in less than a minute. So Aidan, with the supply advantage, looking to make something happen while getting his third base up behind it. A little bit of a supply block here, needs to get that handled, as he's probably going to want to reinforce this push as much and as quickly as he can. Templar Archives going down for our Protoss player. He's got +1, he's getting +2, and he is on the hunt to see what the Terran is up to. Now, this hallucinated Phoenix is going to die, but it's going to do its job, and it is going to see this push coming. Now, pretty big supply lead for our Terran player, but at this point he's pretty much just posturing around the map. He does have a Liberator, but I think he kind of scans that army and goes, I don't know if I want to fight that. I don't know if I want to fight that. But, I mean, with the right Widow Mine connections, that Zealot count could evaporate. Absolutely evaporate. Looks like he is going to kind of poke forward with the Liberator, maybe see if he can pick off some probes in the main, 2 more Archons joining the fight. That's the AoE that Rathor needs to deal with these clumps of Marines that don't have combat shield. But Stim is going to finish up. 4 kills, 5 kills for that Liberator, and the Stalkers are going to pull back, and he is going to push up as the Blink Stalkers pull back. The Zealots push in. Massive hits. Most of the Zealots going down, but being traded for almost all of the Widow Mines. Rathorn not wanting to push back up into there. So much mining time being delayed. The Liberator is going to go down, though. Aidan needs to get his combat shield up, but is going to try and take a little bit of a different angle on this attack. Going to try and poke into this third base, and I think Rathorn has the army to defend this, honestly. He's stimming in. He's going to take out this cannon, but, oh, he runs the Widow Mines in the middle of the army. They're going to get some big hits, but this is just too much Protoss, and I don't think this army is going to get out of here. It's stimming. He's boosting, but, oh, with Blink coming off cooldown, he's just going to pick off more and more of the Terran army, and it looks like Rathorn might have done it. Blinking ahead, taking out all of the medevacs. The Terran army is in shambles. The Protoss army is marauding across the map, and it does not look like it's going to be stopped. 1-1 finish for the Terran player, but it might not matter. 2 Liberators looking to kind of hold, and he's gonna take out the rocks. But I mean, looking at the income, he's not got any SCVs down on this third base. While we have a fully saturated third and a fourth coming up, and just there's just not enough complexity in this army. All the medevacs were taken out by the Stalkers. He's going to try and get the Liberators across, but they're not even going to be able to siege, really, before they all go down. Stalkers are blinking in. The Widowmines get some decent shots, but it looks like the writing is on the wall. Rathorn will be moving on. So I am going to end this broadcast right now, as we have another clan war starting up. And wow, what a series, though. Congratulations to both of our players. That was truly incredible. Truly incredible.